Welcome back to the Mafuba Jar. We've been sealed away for a little bit of a different kind of deck profile here today. So we are going to be going over the new Surge Super Saiyan Goku deck here. And from what you guys can see, in some areas it's not the most competitive decks out there, especially not the ones that topped recently in, I believe, Chicago. But I wanted to do something a little different with this one. I wanted to make this one as close to Battle of Gods themed as possible. So as you guys can see, almost everything here has at least something to do with the movie, not to mention the whole mini archetype that we got from set 8. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's put it together and let's give this a whirl. And it's actually an insanely fun deck. So before I go over to the deck itself and what that whole idea is, let's go over the new leader that we got. So the Super Saiyan Son Goku Surge leader, his auto is amazing. When his card attacks, you draw 2 cards, then you can choose 1 card in your hand and put it in the drop area. That's any card, guys. It could be a battle card, extra card, whatever. And we thought the Hirudegarn leader was amazing just because it was able to pitch any battle card. This card could pitch any card at all. So that is really good. Speaking of really good, his Awakened Surge, which is our newest form of awakening. You get to choose 1 red card and 1 yellow card in your hand, put them underneath the leader, draw 3 cards. Yeah, that right there is amazing. Restand one of your energy and flip him over. And there you'll get the Super Saiyan God Goku Surge of Divinity. And this one is also amazing. So right here is activate main / battle once per turn, so you can do it either main phase or battle phase. If your life's at 5 or less, you get to pitch one of the cards that are underneath the leader, and you can choose one of the skills here. You can either have this card gain 10,000 in critical for the duration of the turn, or you get to choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and negate all of their skills for the duration of the turn. So, oh man, there's just so much going on with this leader, and I do think they did it a little bit of a balance. Wow, they balanced it out a bit because of the fact that you can really only activate it twice. Because you put the 2 cards on there when you awaken, and that's how you activate the skills, and that's it. After that, he's not really doing a whole lot. Like, he doesn't even draw when he attacks. So you do have to use these skills here a little bit sparingly, which that is something I like. I do like that Bandai did kind of put a little bit of a limit when it came to these Surge leaders, because there's a lot of power going on here. So a limiter like that is exactly what it needed to keep it balanced and fair. Alright guys, so with that, I have discussed the leader here. And one last detail, it is obviously, from what you guys can see in the title of his name right here, it is both a red and yellow leader. So that opens up so many possibilities right there. And with that guys, with the leader taken care of, let's go ahead and go into the main deck itself. So the main focus of the deck here is the Son Goku Path to Godhood and our Son Goku Dawn of Divinity. So what the Path to Godhood does is that you get to place this card in its owner's drop area. Then you get to pick one. Then you have to pick 1 Gohan, Adolescence, Goten, Trunks, Videl, and Vegeta. Shuffle them back into your deck. And then you get to play the 3 drop here from your hand or deck, and it gains double strike and dual attack for the duration of the turn. So the whole idea is to use Path of Godhood to bring out this guy right here. And what this guy does is that on his own, he's a critical, and he has Offering, which means that when you play this card, your opponent can either pitch up one of their lives, and if they don't, you get to draw 2 cards. So on top of it already being a critical Offering, the 2 drop here gets to just go right ahead and give it double strike and dual attack. So this thing is doing a lot of damage right here. So that's the main focus of the deck. And we, of course, are going to be running all those cards that we need to shuffle back. First off, I am running 3 copies of the Negate Videl. Well, only be for many reasons. First off, obviously a Negate. Second of all, it is the name Videl. So once I play the Negate battle card and activate it there, I could go ahead and combo with it. My opponent can knock it out, whatever. As long as it's in the drop area, that's all I care about. And we are also going to be running some stuff that we did get along with the Surge leader. The Goten and Trunks back to back. It's a counter play, saying that your opponent's battle card that is being played is in rest mode, then you get to go ahead and play it. Once again, like the Videl, After it served that purpose, I could care less what happens to it, as long as it gets to the drop area. Something to know about this card here though, even though it does have both the name Goten and Trunks, you can't shuffle this one card in the deck as that name goes. There hasn't been an official anything on the DBS website regarding that as of yet, but with how they've worded dual name cards in the past, I'm going to go ahead and say it's safe to assume that this does not count as both a Goten and Trunks when you shuffle. You have to either pick one or the other, which that's fine. All we got to do is get 2 of these in there, then we'll just count one as Trunks, one as Goten, and we're good. And another big thing that we're going to be running here is the familial bonds. Now, even though I tried to keep this as close theme as I could not include this card. This card is so good in this deck. Like, familial bonds is already a pretty amazing card, but in this deck, oh my god. No pun intended. So what it does is that if your leader card is red, you get to choose up to 1 red sand in your drop area with an energy cost of 3 or less, or a power of 15 or less. Power of 15 or less. You get to go ahead and play it, and then you get to go ahead and search your deck for 2 Dragon Balls and add them to your hand. So really, this card is just amazing in this deck, especially for our targets here. The Burst Attack Son Gohan and the Glory Obsessed Prince Vegeta. Let's go ahead and look at the Gohan here first. It's been a little bit since we've seen either one of these. This used to be a big part of the meta though. So it's a 3-drop, 15k, meets our familial bonds. And he does have critical, which does kind of go with what we're doing here. And its auto is when his card attacks, if you have 4 or less cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. That is really going to come in handy, especially once we awaken. Because as I said, the leader doesn't even draw when it awakens, so once that happens, like, you need all the draw you can get, and that Gohan's going to really help you out with that. Not to mention critical. And of course, with the Glory Obsessed Prince of Destruction Vegeta, I just prefer saying Prince Vegeta, so it was also a pretty relevant card in its fair share of time back in its former meta. So its purpose is that if your leader card is red, this card can attack cards that are in active mode. So pretty good spot removal. Not to mention going off with your Goku here, being able to negate all their skills. So anything like block or revenge, can't be KO'd by whatever, not going to really apply. And his auto is that once per turn, when his card attacks a battle card, you get to switch it to active mode, and it gains 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So that's 25 in active mode going after whatever battle card that you want. And that's really, really good. Not only is it something you can play off Familiar Bonds for 1 less energy, we have our 4-star balls here, which can go ahead and boost the attacks of everything even further by choosing one of your battle cards or leader cards. It can be either or, and it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the battle. And we're not worried about the second effect because we're not playing any skillless here. So it can boost up any of these, including your leader, which can give itself crit. So we got some stuff here to work with. And the last part for our, one of the last parts for our Super Saiyan God combo here, we are going to be running the Gohan and Videl power couple. And it's a pretty nice card as well. Its activating means that if your leader card is yellow and you place this card from your hand in the drop area, draw a card, and then you get to choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and negate minus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, which is enough to have things go in the drop area, especially early game. And you only have to pay a single yellow to do it, so really not bad at all. Not whatsoever. And the last part of our combo here, it's not really one of the battle cards, but it is Birth of a Super Saiyan God, is you get to choose 1 red or yellow sand or earthling card with an energy cost of 2 or less in your drop area and play it. If you play the card, place the top 2 cards of your deck in your drop area. I just love the way this card looks so much. Not to mention, if you end up seeing your Path to Godhoods in your drop area, you can go ahead and play Birth of a Super Saiyan God, bring him back, and yeah, you have to mill 2, but with his thing, you're recycling cards back anyway, so it really doesn't make a difference whatsoever. So that does it for the combo here. We are, of course, going to be running other things to help us out as well. Like, obviously, our 4-card is a Weesta Spectator, giving us the multi-energy that we need. Nothing more needs to be said there. But if you end up having to play him, he's not too bad either. Is that when you play this card, you can choose up to 1 opponent's battle card and negate its skills for the duration of the turn. So if you're in a tough spot, he's not exactly the worst one to play either. Even though, yes, you would prefer him in the energy area, negating skills on top of your leader, that's really not bad. And we have here what is going to be most likely, if not certainly the most expensive card of the whole package, the Beerus No Holds Barred. So he has a rival of red and yellow by paying a red and yellow energy. And his auto is when you play this card, you get to choose one of these. You could either KO one of your opponent's battle cards with 30,000 power or less, which is pretty dang good. Or you get to choose up to one of your opponent's battle leader cards or battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier, and it can't be switched to active mode until the start of your next main phase. I keep thinking you just can't do it at the start of your opponent's charge phase, but it's longer than that. It's longer than that. So really, really good card here. If this is something that's a little bit outside of your price range, you can go ahead and run the 3-drop red yellow Beerus. That was one of the dash pack promos of set 8. And what that does is that if you have a red and yellow multi in your energy area, you can reduce its cost by 1. And he can attack things that are in active mode. And you get to just pay a red and a yellow energy once per turn and switch him back to active mode. And he can attack things in active mode as well. So he's a little bit like the Prince Vegeta here. It's essentially like having 6 ways of attacking things in active mode. So really, really cool. Again, if this is something that's a little bit out of your price range, I can understand that. This guy is pretty expensive. Alright, next up here, for our other support cards here, we are going to be running the Almighty Resistance, something else that we got along with the Surge packs here. And it's a really good card. It's a counter, that if your leader card is red and you choose one yellow card in your hand placed in the drop area, negate the counter attack skill. So it's not like Bad Ring Laser where it can stop any counter, but it is something really cool to have, especially if you're trying to swing with that critical hit for game and they just have something to stop you. Boom, just play the Almighty Resistance, not going anywhere, and just start comboing like crazy to finish the game right then and there. So really, really good card. We are also going to be running 2 copies of Battle to the Death. I know it's not exactly Battle of Gods theme related, but again, it's one of those things I couldn't not run. So it's activate mains. If your leader card is yellow, you get to choose up to 3 cards from your life, add them to your hand. Even though life doesn't really apply to Awakening, it does still kind of matter what your activate main / battle on the Awakened side. So you do still want to be taking some life here. Then you get to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. And it gains, I know the wording is weird, it gets minus 25 power for the duration of the turn. So that's enough to knock out, place in the drop area a lot of things. And I mean a lot of them. And the fact that it ignores barrier on top of that too, like that's really amazing. And the best part is that it chooses up to 3, so you don't have to pick 3 if you don't want to. You technically don't have to pick any. That's just stupid. Like for something like that, I don't know if I would say for sure it should have been mandatory 3 life, but the fact that you could technically choose no life at all and still do that effect ignoring barrier, that's insane. It's too good not to take advantage of. Alright, with that, I am also going to be, this is probably the only thing I'm running that we don't have as of yet. And it's going to be the Wii Celestial Moderator. That's the one of the many super combos we're getting in set 9. And its auto is that if your leader card is red or yellow, when you combo this card from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So it kind of goes with the whole minus thing here we have for everything else. Not to mention, it's both a red and a yellow. So going ahead with our Beerus here, it's pretty simple to do for its arrival. And I've got 2 copies of that, and I have 2 copies of Divine Cry Beerus. All in all, I would actually prefer sparking super combos over the life ones, just because with its first auto on the unawakened side, you're going to be getting 5 cards in the drop area very, very quickly. Not to mention with the whole idea is to get things in the drop area. And he's just sparking 5, you get to draw a card if your leader is yellow. And obviously he's both, so he applies for that as well. And we are going to be running 2 copies of Further Destruction Champa, just to give something double strike with specific, mainly with critical, like say the Goku leader here, our Gohan, We can give it to the Dawn Divinity if the whole double strike dual attack wears off. We can technically give it to anything, but your first idea should be the critical. I was debating on running the Fearless Pan in here, and for the competitive version, you really need to be running that. It's so amazing. But I was kind of debating on back and forth since I was trying to make this a themed deck. But if you want to go ahead and replace the Chambas with the Pans, that's by all. Or if you want to play something here with the Pans, by all means, go ahead and do it. Because giving everything double strike is truly amazing. And I will definitely be doing a competitive version of this deck in the future. And I'm definitely going to be putting Fearless Pan in there. Like, you can't not run Fearless Pan in this. It's so good. But for the sake, once again, can't stress enough, just for the sake of theme, I chose not to put the Pan in here. But by all means, replace it if you must. Alright, so there you guys have it. That's really the whole point of the deck profile here. And with this new leader being able to pitch any card when you go ahead and draw two, it makes getting all these guys in the drop area so much easier. And this strategy, to me, has never been easier to pull off than now with this leader. So guys, if you enjoyed this neat little theme deck here, go ahead and smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like and comment down below, and look forward to, guys, not only a Piccolo Gohan Surge deck profile coming up in the very near future, but a competitive version of this deck here as well. So with that, everybody, hope you all have a fantastic day. See you all next time, and you've all been released.